All right, Function. You called mutants at 3 ETH. You called DeGods at 4 Sol. What is the next DeGods? Yo, it's cool times. Gang gang to my cats. Sup to all my ducks. Today we're trying to find the next DeGods, which is kind of like trying to find a sorority girl who has a body count of 0. It's tough. It's not easy. But we brought Function on, who swept DeGods at a 4 Sol floor to talk about why DeGods pumped in the first place and what are the next projects to do the same. And I know you guys like getting your dick a little bit dirty, so comment and like below. We've got whitelist spots to give out for Unveiled. Make sure to subscribe as well. Let's get in that video today, boys. Okay, before we find the next DeGods, we gotta find out why DeGods pumped in the first place. So you can see January 26th, I was actually pretty early. I called this at 6 Sol on my YouTube channel. And I also had DeGods. This is crazy. This shows you DeGods at the very bottom here. DeGods, which was only at like 6 Sol at this point, was on my February 2nd Twitter Spaces show. I then again had them February 23rd on a show. And sometimes you have to double down. You have to take out your dick and your balls. That's what I did on this March 1st video. I called DeGods again at a 31 Sol floor. But look, DeGods was not an easy call by any stretch of imagination. These had minted out in October. Minted out October 8th for 3 Sol. The first time they hit a 10x was February 26th after my call. That's exactly 4.5 months since their mint. So guys, if you buy something and you think it's gonna be, and you can judge its success based on a 24-hour period, this took 4 months to 10x. And it wasn't all fine and dandy. There was a lot of FUD. People were saying, wish Frank was so eloquent. People had issues with the bitch tax, the 33.3% royalty bitch tax. Frank was not viewed as this eloquent, great speaker back in October 2021. Announcement on the mint day about, you know, the FUD getting more insane. People are just trashing them in the comments. You look at these comments, it's everything like, everything you guys say is literally a marketing disaster. LOL, shut up. Further testament, you can't judge a mint just by its mint day. And things didn't get better fast. You can see this tweet from December. Frank says, I know that some people are losing faith in DeGods, but I truly believe we're on the path to figuring this thing out. We're not giving up on this. So 2 months, more than 2 months have gone by and the FUD is at an all-time high, floor at an all-time low. So what changed? Well, we're gonna bring on 0x Function, one of the goats in this space who swept DeGods very early on why he thought things changed over time. But I'll say this, my personal thesis is it's because Frank was a great mouthpiece. And if we're gonna go find the next DeGods, it's gonna be because the project leader, the project founder is also a great orator, great speaker, great communicator. And so I truly believe that DeGods pumped, got on the track it is now in that late January, early February stage when Frank started to hop on Twitter Spaces like mine, or this one here. I think this is a monumental, 12,000 views February 17th, over an hour and a half of Frank on the Mark Colser podcast. I think this worked wonders for him as well. So we talk all the time about, no, I don't want an influencer running the project. Oh no. You need somebody who can communicate, who can talk. You don't want these anonymous devs. Look, I know it worked out for Yuga Labs, but Yuga Labs is a fucking unicorn, okay? The reason why OK Bears is in the trash, Trippin' Ape Tribe's in the trash, I have no idea who runs those projects. I've never heard them speak. Frank is constantly hopping onto Twitter Spaces and is omnipresent on NFT Twitter. But to get a bigger window into why DeGods pumped, let's talk to Function right now. All right, snipers, I'm here with one of the few goats we have left on crypto Twitter, Function. Welcome to the channel, Function.
What's up, bro? Glad to be here.
All right, so everyone's been talking about you calling DeGods at 4 Sol, and obviously we've seen them now 500 Sol, GG. But I actually dug back. You were tweeting about DeGods, you can see here, on October 2nd. This is before they even minted. If we could go back in time almost a year ago, what did you see in DeGods early?
I mean, at this point in time, there was like so many different random mints happening on Solana. The art was a little bit different and unique. It actually had like some design and some quality to it compared to a lot of the shit that was just being minted, which was just like real shitty pixel art or like some shit that somebody threw together in 10 minutes. I thought this shit was funny. So like they kept DMing me, or people kept DMing me and tagging me on Twitter and being like, yo, you got to claim your honorary. You got to get your honorary DeGod. I'm like, dude, I hate it when they do the claim things. They make you tweet something like super corny corny, like, hey, check out our project. I just claimed, or check out this project. I just claimed an honorary. It's so corny and cheesy. And so I like went in, I looked at the art. I'm like, this is pretty sick. Like my DeGod honorary has like 3 blunts in his mouth and he's a fucking like acid skin. He's like a tight G. And I clicked the tweet button just to see what the tweet would say. And it said this: I'm literally only tweeting this to claim my 101 DeGod, LMAO. And I was like, dude, all right, that's fucking tight. Like I fuck with this team. That's hilarious. And that was like my first experience with DeGods themselves. And then over like the next 4 or 5 months, I watched and observed and like slowly purchased stuff until like December, January hit, where I did some big sweeps.
Oh, we got the receipts because not only were you early to DeGods, but August of last year, you're tweeting about, you know, Solana, how you've made more X's off Solana than you did off Bored Apes. But I love this article I randomly found, bro. The headline is 0x Function. This is from November of last year. 0x Function sells his mutants to buy more DeGods. And the journalist had asked you for clarification on why you did this. And you said, I don't know. It was just a feeling in D's. And then you yelled at the journalist, D's nuts. You bought the bottom, the very bottom of mutants. You sold the top. You swept DeGods in November. What was the play here? This is a bold move. I mean, not only are you going from Yuga to an unknown, but you're going from ETH to Solana. Give us a window into why you made that move.
A couple things. Like I definitely didn't sell the top of mutants. Like they ran to 33 ETH. I think I sold mine most between 9 and 15 ETH. Like obviously I sold a couple rares for like up in the 30s and the 40s range, but the floor ones that I got were mostly like a little bit early. That being said, like my thought process with DeGods, which the sweep, he's a little bit wrong in the article. The sweep I think was like later December, early January, but like the major thing that I saw with DeGods was one, I was already on Solana. I'd already made a fuck ton of money on Solana. I was one of the first 20 people to buy Solana NFTs. Like I was buying Gen 1's Solana Monkey Business for $800 for like 2 sets, and they turned into like $420,000, right? So I knew the ecosystem has a lot of potential. And after making some really, really big plays, I was kind of looking around and watching and seeing like, okay, cool. What's the potential for the next big play? The thing that swayed me the most at the end of December, beginning of January, and I even remember DMing Frank on the DeGods account, and we were talking back and forth. And after I saw the DeGods preview and their like potential idea of dust, I DM'd Frank and I told him, I'm like, okay, cool, bro. Like I'm no longer minting this random bullshit that's coming out for 5 Sol that like just dumps right afterward. Like I'm done minting shit. I'm just buying DeGods for right now. And then from then on, I just like bought 55 of them. And mostly because I watched Frank's ability to pivot well. That was impressive to me. Like I think one of the most important, like crucial fucking abilities for a founder and a team to have is the ability to pivot and pivot on command, like, and pivot in the right moments. And they kind of realized that the paper hand bitch tax wasn't working. It wasn't functioning well. It wasn't like exactly the intention that they had like designed it for. And the community wasn't loving it to the extent they had hoped and imagined that they could. And so Dust and DeGods seemed like an intuitive way for them to like upgrade their art and build a new narrative. And so I was just bullish on that.
Selling the mutants, buying DeGods. Further proof, sometimes in NFTs, you just gotta take your dick out and fuck.
You gotta have big balls. You gotta take risks, dude. You just gotta kind of like, I only put like 30K into fucking 40K into DeGods, like, and I had like 55 of them or whatever. It's the super rares and shit, right?
Yeah, you scooped this up in January. That's fire. My feeling is like late January, early February is where DeGods really start to roll. Like you started to see Frank pop up on my Twitter Spaces. He did a podcast with Mark Holzer, and then this is when people were like, yo, this guy can talk. He can communicate. I like this. You're asking about like, oh, can I get all my DeGods in one wallet? That's January. Push it up to March. I couldn't find your I remember there was a tweet in February where you actually called them out at like 3 Sol, which were like the bottom. Couldn't find that one, but yeah, Frank talking about the shit I tweeted when we were at 4 Sol that explained exactly what happened. Motherfuckers been ignoring. You said couldn't be me, which was true. And then this is you talking about you called them at 4 Sol, MAYC at 3.5. You talking about you won't be comparing any Solanas to DeGods, any Solana NFTs to DeGods. What do you think actually did it? Because I think it's that late January, early February period where they really started to pop. Is it because you thought Frank's doing a great job communicating? Did people just start waking up to Solana NFTs? Like, what really kind of set this thing on the track that it's on right now?
I think the majority of it revolves around the team's ability to like be in coherence really well with each other. They work really, really well with each other. They're good friends and they do some crazy, like they've built this crazy thing together. So now they have a completely other bond, like outside of their friendship. And I think Frank is also just like a fantastic leader from my observation. The way has the ability to speak as well as have like deep conviction in his own belief of his own project brings the energy to everybody else. Like, I don't think if Frank like sat, like I think Frank like could sit quietly and probably build some cool shit, but I think if Frank wasn't as vocal and wasn't as like publicly passionate about DeGods itself as a project that he was creating, I think less people would be inspired and like ready to roll and excited. I think he has a huge effect on that.
All right, Function, you called mutants at 3 ETH, you called DeGods at 4 Sol. What is the next DeGods?
But I think Solana NFTs are just the next move in general. Like this seems to be like the ecosystem that people are paying attention to and wanting to participate in and wanting to like give their time and energy to. And I think that's like what I'm the most fucking bullish on, you know. There's a couple projects on ETH I've been looking at and a couple teams that I think are building well with school art and things like that. But I think mostly I'm like watching and observing the potential that Solana has in the next bull run with all these ETH people starting to get acquainted and understand how to trade and get into the ecosystem.
Yeah, and Utes has done a good job of onboarding people. I mean, my kind of thesis is, of course, there's no next DeGods. There's only the next whatever that project is. But my belief is that you need to have a strong mouthpiece at this point in the crypto cycle. Like you can't have a project that doesn't have great communication. And that's why I think, you know, my answer would change week by week almost. But right now, like a project like ABC that has HGE behind it, like that is one singular force. Do you have any projects on your mind? Again, there is no next DeGods, but any projects where you like the mouthpieces, you like the team, you like the art, any kind of under the radar projects you're kind of looking at right now?
They're not super under the radar, but I think like Ketz has a good leader. Pablo has a cool little mysterious way that he communicates with his community. It's not necessarily Frank-like or DeGods-like. It's different. It's his own style, but I like it. Also, the Vandals founders, Soulberry, and I forgot the other guy's name off the top of my head. They continue to like communicate, listen to the community, make adjustments, make changes based upon like the perceptions and as well as like the feedback of the community. I like that. And it does seem to be correlated, bro. I think there's like a direct correlation between like the founder's ability to communicate these things to an audience and their floor price and how well they do.
What do you think about Wilma? He's a pretty good founder.
Well, my balls fit in your mouth, bro.
I gotta try it. I gotta try at least once. It was inevitable. It's like death. Function's gonna hit you with the D's nuts Wilma joke, and I try to just get in front of it. Didn't work out. But anything you want to plug? Well, I'm gonna wrap this up now. Anything you want to plug real quick on the YouTube video?
Yeah, dude. If you guys got a Discord server, download Sense at sensebot.xyz. It allows you to create a text messaging list for pretty much your entire Discord server, so you can send direct messages via Telegram or SMS to your users. Easiest shit ever. I've been using it in my Discord and getting like 2 to 3x more engagement in my spaces in my like Discord chat conversations than I had previously. So
if you're a project or you have an alpha chat or anything, this is the easiest move ever because you actually tweeted out yesterday. You'll co-tweet with somebody announcing that they've set up SenseDisc. That is amazing for somebody's engagement. A great marketing tool as well. So if you're willing to do the co-tweets, go set that shit up. Go do the co-tweet. I mean, it's worth it for that alone, but you're also going to be able to connect with your users that much faster. I mean, it's great for me. I'm going to start pinging people for my YouTube videos. So Sense Discord, something every project's going to need in the future. Appreciate you, bro. As always. All right, my guy. I'll let you get back to it. Have a good day, brother.
You too, man.
So Function gave his ideas on what could be, you know, the next DeGods. Personally, for me, if I'm picking this week, it's ABC because HGE Soul is somebody who is a mouthpiece. He has never been afraid to speak his mind, especially when it came to OK Bears. He fudded them. We actually talked about ABC on my channel last week when they're at 2. Now they're at 8 Sol. And again, these things take time. 0 royalties though. There was no launchpad, there was no bots, anything like that. There's no Discord, no Twitter, no team. They're doing things their own way, which I like. That's one reason why DeGods did well. They did things their own way, and they have somebody front and center like HGE to carry this thing. That's my bet right now. And that's the video for today, snipers. Make sure to go follow Function, make sure to go follow Sense Discord, and keep your eyes peeled, guys, for the next DeGods. If you personally have the alpha, let me know, please. Just that'd be great. Until then, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Really appreciate it. Make sure to say, as always, gang, gang.